Hello, today I came on to explain a little bit about this TrainStation game. There's a lot of people out talking about it. It's a regular phone type app game. I've been playing it. I played it twice. My first time around I was up to about level 170 when I gave up on the game and kind of started over again. But I'm glad I started over again because there's a few things that, I don't know, sometimes when you watch the tutorials they don't seem to cover it much. And it makes the game a lot easier to know as you go through it. The first thing I can think of is when you get into the game, it's not a great phone game. It plays off an app, but if you do that, you're better off on a pad. I'll even play it on a small Kindle Fire, but on pads it works, but on a phone it's just too small, and you'd have to have a pretty big phone to make it work. The trains are pretty hard to get your finger to and everything, but the as you get into the play of the game and you get up, it runs you through different types of trains, and you'll find this out when you start. You start out with steam, and all I can say is with the steam engines is that their numbers are so low on the freight cargo and everything to get out of the steam as quickly as possible. As soon as you're given the option for diesel, even if it is only a 5-car train, I bought 4 of them right off the bat. I get out of steam as quickly. The first time I played the game, it just drug me on forever and ever through the steam engines because the numbers are so low. And plus, what I have to throw in is that I play this game without paying a dime, and I feel like the real challenge of this game is to play it without buying anything. Play not for the diamonds, for the emeralds rather, but play for gameplay, play to see as far as you can get, play for your own satisfaction, but don't pay a dime to do it. And that's where I've gotten. So first time it was level 170, and then I dumped the game and started over. Now I'm at level 309. And as you can see, I've got 32 billion. I do know most of the courses, and I myself have never, with the exception of going to their wiki page and looking at different contractors or trying to figure out what's coming or trying to cheat the contracts by hauling freight ahead to meet the numbers, but that doesn't work because when you open a contract and they ask for a specific number, they're waiting for that number, which is very real. It's like a real contract. So as you haul freight and things like that. But when you get into playing it, you'll find that the diesels do haul 40% more, and you'll get further with a lot less effort if you just get straight into diesel as quickly as possible and keep trying to pick up through the specials as many of the 500% or 300% cars as you can, the higher percentage cars, because basically the cars that they give you as you go through this are so much smaller than you need. You know, you can line up 14 or 15 lower percentage cars and you're still only pulling small hundreds as you do the rounds. You know, and that makes it a little frustrating as well. That makes it extremely time consuming. Also, the when you get into them, the it seems like the awards and the prizes that they give you for the contracts and the achievements are somehow always a step behind for what you need. You know, so I'd say don't play off your awards and don't work that hard at filling them because they tend to fill themselves as you progress on. In the area of Steam, there is one Steam engine that as soon as you get it in pieces and then acquire all of it through achievements, you'll get 5 mail cars and then 10 passenger cars on a green grasshopper. It's a steam engine. You get 15 altogether. That, at the time that you get it, will turn bigger numbers and make more money than anything else you got. And you'll run it all the time. But what's really noticeable about that train is the XP numbers are huge on it. So I even, way past its usefulness on the money, I always have a track for it, and I always keep it separate, and I run it religiously because the XP on it is very high, and it's higher than some of the huge passenger trains that I tend to run. You know, now I also don't tend to run a lot of um, long distances. I like the 7-minute, you know, special they throw in. I liked it better when they had 20-minute specials and 45-minute specials. The only time I'll back off into more distant things is when I want to leave the game running overnight, and I want it to make money while I'm gone, or if I have a very low passenger count at some time, then my big trains will either go to depot, my passenger trains, or they'll just get pushed off to longer trips, so they use less money. Right now, I've got flags out that are putting me at about 10 million, so I can rather randomly use these things off, so I'm just shooting everything into a 5-minute right now so that they're running while I'm sitting here talking. So I've been playing this game for about 5 months or so, and I never read any tutorials. I never looked up anything, just read the basic rules of what was available. And I won't really throw anything into this rant here that isn't something you can look up in the game and kind of find out yourself if you look around. There was some things like I do go to the Wikipedia page to look at contracts, like I said, because sometimes you want to look ahead to see. But I've learned too that I actually enjoy not knowing what's coming up because you really can't posture for the contracts. You've got to roll with it. I did make mistakes both times that I started this game. A lot of the freebies that you get and achievements and stuff, you'll start to get a lot of things in storage. And in the course of filling your storage, you get frustrated with having to buy a lot more storage. So I've sold some things. And I have to honestly say that, I mean, 4 out of the 5 things that I've sold later on at some contractor at some point, it was requested, and I've had to go back and buy those trains, which when you get up over $1 billion really doesn't affect you all that much. You can almost buy that stuff without noticing it. But if you keep it and just keep pumping up your storage and keeping everything in storage, you'll be better off. I'm up to where I have 4 stations. This is station number 2. It's not fully developed. Number 3 is also not fully developed, just kind of a hangout for some of my higher number stuff that I've got. And number 4, I've just purchased and just started, and these are all high number achievement things from contracts. So I'm going back to the first one, right? Collecting as I'm on my rounds and everything on a 5-minute round kind of does keep you very busy. But, well, that's about all I have to add for that. Just when you get into it, to try and stick to Steam, just stick away from the Steam rather, and get into it. I find that freight hauls in excessively big numbers when you put them on the maglevs. And I've tried to work as much of my freight onto the maglevs, but you got to remember when you work through the specials, I don't buy a lot of stuff off the regular unless I'm just trying to fill a contract, or when you win the 50 or the 70 freebie Steam off of the museum work. Those trains you'll keep to run contracts with, because like with Joel's and George, those are strictly Steam customers. They only use Steam trains, and to fill out those contracts, of course, to accumulate their stations for your XP, you've got to get through them, and a lot of their numbers are pretty big towards the end of the contract. So having the 50 and the 70 and buying a whole slew of the 45%, 70% cars to get the contract done, that's also involved in it, but you may want to do that. But running straight out, I run the maglevs first and hyperloops, and then whatever I can't fill in with maglevs in the bigger numbers, then I start buying sets or buying trains for different applications or to apply. For me, you can see that I'm running right now 10 out of 32 tracks are maglevs, because I'm bringing the new elements that I've just acquired in, and I'm sustaining the old elements while I'm filling the Christopher contract. And as you get into Christopher and contracts, you'll see that play Christopher all the way through and keep playing Christopher, because you get a lot of Hyperloop trains and things. He'll really set you up good without having to buy a lot of Hyperloop stuff. Although myself, I've bought 7 of the 4s right off the bat, and I've used them a lot. Right now I have 4 or 5 sitting in storage not doing much, but they're just these smaller ones. But you can see I'm running these, and then when I get into passengers, I just run those 4. There's my Grasshopper, and these are all big number trains. And I did achieve the big number train from the latest Valentina contract, but that's over there. That, of course, that's, of course, right here, running that contract. And that's this one. That's the Wild Rat, which you get from her free, which is, the numbers on it are huge for a free train, right? You just got to play through her contracts. So you can see how I handle my contracts. Right now I have a lot of spaces open because I haven't had to take time to fill them. But I'm trying to run bits and pieces in there to get as much filled as I can. And I'm trying to kill off my Steam contracts so I can kind of mothball these 2 monsters. And these 2 things are really ugly, slow, high dollar trains. But when it comes to getting rid of George and George and, oh man, I always forget these guys' names. And that would be Jules. And George is already gone. George I've already acquired down at the bottom here. You can see the ones that I've already acquired. And I admit these are probably some of the easiest ones. Of course, this will be your first. And Johan here, was only an hour or two. These are shorter contracts. Now he went to 3 hours, and now they've gone to 3 hours right now as I'm playing it, but we were at 4 hours. And 4 hours, you have to be very careful about how you send your trains and how you double them up and all, because it just is extremely time consuming. The average player, I assume, would get one launch a day of your international trains, because it just takes an excessive amount of time to get them back. But I'm just working right now, as you can see, to get through Jules so I can get rid of him, and then I'm done with all my Steam contracts, and it's back to her, which I'm now working on the very last contract with her, which is to get the train that she puts together through her 15 steps or 14 steps, right? And then I'm moving on. Like I say, Alan's very good to get you started on things, and play through Christopher as soon as you get your hyperlinks, because he'll feed you a lot with all that. The passenger setups on when you go to buy trains, I use the special area more than anything else, because like I just purchased this train, and that has an excessive, even just using the money slots. And I do spend emeralds, but it's emeralds that I've won in the game. I never buy emeralds, never for any reason. And as I play through, like I just acquired this, these are higher numbers, but as with all of these trains, as you acquire them, you have to keep your emeralds to buy the engines, but you never seem to fill the whole train. I have very few trains or sets that I've been able to buy all of them without using emeralds of some kind. And like this one, I needed these cars. I need cement cars, so I just bought the cement cars. They're still at 530%. I won't get the 2 F50 more because I won't buy this. I can't put 50 cars on it because I can't buy 50 cars. I don't have enough emeralds. And frankly, I don't care. That's the challenge of the game. So you'll find that wood, steel, cement, gravel, those are things that you're going to be pounded on through the whole game, and you're going to be chasing it the whole time, trying to catch up to it. So I'd say that too from the start. As you acquire those 4, put as many cars on it as possible, and just keep after it, because you use in excess of that stuff as you go through it. If you once you start with the grasshopper, and then after that try and acquire some of the other passenger trains and cars that come up on the specials, and that's how I acquired most of the ones that I run in the passenger. That's how pretty much I got most of them. That's a special. This one here is a special. This was a special through the market, and this was a special. And those are really what I run, and I've just made an excess amount of money and don't really feel like money's one of my problems. My problem tends to be materials. And once again, my materials are lowest in certain areas, like here's poor old cement, still at 3 digits, pounding away at it. And here's nails and wood. And you can see the nails, wood, steel, cement. Fuel is really hard until you can get a maglev of it. Anything you can get a maglev of, you will start out. There's a freebie you get it towards the beginning of the game that's a 4-car that covers wire and plastic. And it's wire and plastic? I believe I'm wrong. Hold on. Not being accurate here. I'm sorry. It's a 4-piece that does plastic and wire. I was right. And I started out with this. As soon as I got this, I removed all the other wire and plastic basically off, and then later acquired this one. Now, this is not a set because I mixed and matched cars. Because, once again, the only way I could have acquired all of it was to use. So I take what cars I can and take the percentage from those cars. I don't passionately really pursue sets all that much. I do have one here that's a set, and the numbers are very huge. But this one, they made it available where I could use cash to acquire it, or, well, gold pieces, as you see. So, well, my name is Drivermilt, and as you can see, I've been playing this game, and I just wanted to offer a little bit of insight on the beginning of this game, because I know the first time I played it, around on the old on the um, oh, well, how would I put this? Now that I've fumbled around, I made an idiot out of myself. Um, to play this game a certain way and to go through and kind of lead you where the game takes you. At the beginning of the game, it'll cost you a lot of extra hours, and it makes it real frustrating. Um, Acquire your international spots. Don't work them too hard. And I would recommend too that with the contracts, with the exception of Alan and Christopher, you might want to try and stick to doing them in order, because as you get down through them, you'll be asked to use certain trains. Go to storage here. I think I went through and things like this. I went through and purchase some of these trains for fun or out of other necessity, like this train. And I am just now uncovering contracts that's giving it to me for free. So I'll end up, having paid for something I didn't need. And there's a few sets in here like that. So be careful about ever selling what you get or acquire. Always go ahead and put the money into your storage and build it up to pretty big numbers. Mine's, even with everything I have, mine's only at 1,600 right now, and I still got 200 and something to go. But as I get towards the end of it, I will do things like, if I have 100 of these 45% cement cards or something, I'm not using them, I'll go ahead and delete them because it's easily acquired again. It's not a big deal. And it's just easily worked through. So anyway, I think that's about it for this time. If you're interested in me getting into how to actually go through this, or maybe starting a new game on a different video and showing you some of the beginning steps of actually getting through it, I myself am not proclaiming to be an expert at all at this. This is all self-taught for me, and I've looked up a little here and there. I actually try kind of not to get into it because the discovery of it's been fun. And for me, with all of these games or app games, is when they come to points to charge you through the game, the challenge is getting as far as you can get without spending a dime. And getting around them and their challenges is also very tempting and really makes it a lot of fun. I know that when you look at their Hall of Fame, you can see players that are really great players and at a level level 1,000 and just way up there. But you have to ask, what level players have played without paying a dime and gotten as far as they have? Alrighty, thanks for watching, and that's about it for this time. Like I said, if you want to let me know about doing other videos with starting the game in motion or starting a new game on a different account or something and playing through it to kind of show you what these are, I could definitely do that too, and we'll probably start posting a few more of those. Hey, thanks for watching, and my name's Drivermilt, and have a good day.